for the episode.
You know what we should do? We should like put hidden cameras in Dan's bedroom, like because he lives with Sylvan now.
Does he?
And he's completely oblivious to everything. So what we should do is put hidden cameras in his bedroom and just wait for him to jerk off. I'm like, we caught you jerking off, you bastard!
I knew it. In my brain, it was like if you did that, you just see him.
And then that's the intro to him. It's just like, oh!
And all of us are there.
Yeah, we're all just like waiting. We're coming home every day, just waiting for him to jerk off.
We're inside of his closet. We're all just bunched in there.
And we just all have. Or maybe we designate one person to bring a rag. Or we get a. You know. But then I'm like, my roommate's not bad. Like, he's great. Cleans the bathroom more than I do.
That's a good thing.
Well, he gets mad.
He just hates his fucking roommate.
Because there's sometimes I'm like, I should clean the bathroom today. Then I hear him doing it. I'm like, fuck, that's one more thing he's got on me.
He's like, just holding all that ammo and what.
Yeah, I'd be like, hey, Sting, when was the last time you cleaned the bathroom? I'm like, I was gonna do it, but you always beat me to it. So.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna quickly intro this. Welcome to another episode of the Entertaining Stupid Podcast.
Thanks, Matt.
My name's Buddy Jayson, and my amigos with me today are
Sing Daddy,
Matty B.
Okay, now back to the whole cleaning the bathroom thing. Like, is there anything else that you do for your roommate, like clean the kitchen or?
Oh yeah, like I keep shit clean. Like if I notice that the floor is getting dirty, I'll vacuum. Stuff like that. We keep the kitchen like pretty good. But man, one time he sent me a Snapchat. I was in a rush one morning, and you know how you have a dish towel that sits over the handle of the oven?
Yeah.
Right?
It's common practice, yeah.
Yeah, and I was in a rush, so I think I was late for work or something. I just went and kind of stuffed the thing in there. And then I get a snap later that day of Brett saying not cool with the picture of the dish rag scrunched in the oven. God. And I'm like, you sack of shit. And then he was actually really mad at me about it. Like it's
a rag.
I know. He was like, this is.
Must have been grumpy.
Or he gets mad when like my stuff will fall onto his side of the fridge. Because we divide the fridge in two. Like sometimes I put my thing of spinach up and it'll like on top of something and it'll kind of topple over. And then you'll like see it like shoved into the side. Or he hates that all my shoes sit at the front door. Like, because we have steps, the steps that go up. Yeah, so my whole I got so many shoes that it lines all the stairs. And he gets mad at that.
That's pretty crazy, actually.
What?
That's a lot of shoes.
I know. I tried to buy more shoes today.
I tried to buy more.
Yeah. Do you get the garage, or does he?
I do, because I have a smaller bedroom.
That's fair.
And I wanted that. I wanted the smaller bedroom, too, because I wanted the garage.
Okay.
But also the closet's better for some reason. That smaller room?
Yeah.
The closet's a little better.
It's bigger.
There's like a shelf.
There's a shelf, and there's like an actual walk-in light.
Yeah.
In it,
yeah.
and then the other one is just in a regular closet, which I found weird.
So I was like, ooh, I like that. But besides that, I don't know. Like I haven't actually talked to him a whole heck of a lot lately, just because it's been so crazy. I'm at work like almost 12 hours a day lately.
Fucking hell.
I pulled a 13.5-hour last Friday.
You got new flavors coming out, right?
No, we got a canning line. It's been a pain in the fucking ass.
Oh, just the canning.
But also I had juice come in on Monday, so I was fermenting. So that's why I was at work today, because I had to pump over the tanks. But so it's just been, I haven't seen much of him, so I haven't really talked to him. But he's going on a horse show from Tuesday to Sunday in Red Deer. So
what's a horse show?
What do you mean, what's a horse show? It's a horse show.
It's like when you show off your horse.
Yeah.
How fast it is, how strong it is, how much smarter it is, how much more it cares about humans' rights than every other horse does.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a horse show.
That's a horse show.
Okay.
They actually make you talk too. Like they ask questions of the horse.
Like you're sitting there.
It's like a pageant.
There's a talent. Yeah, there's a talent section and a skills section.
Yeah.
There's a bikini.
Section, economics section right there.
There's a two-legged race.
Two-legged race
with Brett and his horse.
So what would if you're you can't run anymore and you're come to the age where you're about to die, what would you prefer? Well, I'd like my body to be incarcerated so I can become glue for the better of the human race. Yeah.
What?
Well, like horses, like they Doesn't glue come out of horses? That's a joke.
Glue come out of... Wait, glue's made out of horses?
Yeah, not come out of horses. That'd be fucking hilarious. It's like it sweats out glue. It just sweats out glue.
That's where glue is from.
Yeah,
I don't... This is the first time hearing about it.
I think you ship off old horses to the glue factory and they become glue.
I'm sorry, but I have to look this up.
That's in the movie Babe, at least, anyway. So
Babe?
That's gotta be accurate.
That's what you're basing this off
Yeah,
of?
of course.
Oh my god, Matthew. I have to look this up.
Dude, I'm sure back in the day.
You're okay with all the jokes of the pageant part, but you're like, I gotta check out
Are horses glue?
No.
I spelled glue wrong.
Can glue be made out of
glue
horses?
historically is indeed made from collagen taken from animal parts, particularly horse hooves and bones.
There you go.
Okay, so my brain for some reason was like they just toss a whole horse into a grinder. And they just like squeeze out and just turns into glue.
And that's why sometimes you have red glue and white
just
glue.
like how lipstick back in the day used to be made out of whale.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, it was all like whale blubber.
And oil. Like that's like for lamps and stuff. But yeah, anyway, so he's going to be gone for a bit.
So that's
it's hilarious. I'm always like, Brett, there's probably like a lot of cute girls that go to this stuff, like cute, like cowgirls. And he was like, not at all. They're just a bunch of old men. And I'm like, well, why do you do it? He just walks away or he hits me.
He just hits you.
Shut
up, Sid.
I showed him a video once that I thought was funny. He immediately slapped my phone out of my hands.
Oh my god.
I get like, yeah, like the shows themselves might be very male heavy, but I think he owns a horse.
A couple
horses. I think that'd be like a, I don't know, like a chick magnet or something.
No, it's not. Like I have asked him before. Like he's not a very big talker when he goes on dates, but it doesn't seem like the ladies are too interested in it. Because he's probably, if I ever tell him, if he ever listens to us, he's gonna fucking beat the shit out of me. But I told him once because I was watching TV. He was going out for a date, and he's wearing his cowboy vest and his hat and his boots and his Wrangler jeans and all that stuff. And I'm just like, dude, what are you wearing? He's like, going on a date. I'm like, is she into this shit? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, and why are you wearing it? He's like, it's who I am. And I'm like, dude, why don't you just get a fucking pair of jeans that aren't Wrangler, get a pair of Nike sneakers and a t-shirt and wear one of your hats. Just fucking wear that. Because I feel like if you show up dressed as a fucking cowboy, that just shows like that's your whole life. Like there's no other side to you except for being a cowboy.
Funny is that like your solution to him being like better on a date is become Marty McFly. Wear a hat, wear the vest, wear jeans, and wear Nikes. It's like Marty McFly. That's all I picture is Brett's Marty.
Well,
McFly.
you know what? It would probably that's in right now. I would say that's in.
Yeah, like that retro's 80s.
I'm not shitting on him. He's one of my best friends, but I feel like it could kind of be intimidating to a girl if she goes out with a guy who's like he's just missing the lasso.
I mean, I also respect that he's like, it's me, so he's like not giving a shit. He's not gonna change who he is.
I can see.
I get it.
So I can see how it scares off like city girls, right? Like we are in a sort of major.
Yeah. And he knows
city,
that too.
Right?
He knows that he'll never find a girl in the city.
Like I think he'd do just fine if he was out in a smaller.
He was doing good in Oklahoma, that's for sure.
I think he could find a girl in the city if the girl in the city doesn't like the city.
True.
Yeah.
Like yeah, sure.
Like sometimes maybe it's like, well, I have to go to school here, so I'm stuck in the city. But after that, I'd like to go somewhere smaller.
Or he went to Coulter Wall by himself, I think.
Oh, what? Where?
You know, Coulter Wall, is that his name? The country singer?
Oh, I don't know.
He's Brad Wall's son.
Oh, okay.
He's like a big country star in Canada, and he was performing at Coors, and he just went by himself because none of us, I will not be caught dead at a concert like that, so I didn't want to go, and I think everyone else is busy, so he went by himself because he thought that if he's gonna meet a girl, it's gonna be one of those kind of things.
I could see that.
And he's told me before, he's like, you and I like have completely different interests, and I'm not gonna meet a girl at anything that you like, and vice versa. So,
yeah.
But then I think the issue is though, then you're like completely assuming that it'll have to happen that one way. When I think just life is crazy and where you don't expect it could happen.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's the element of uncertainty and you know, and randomness it's a part of it.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about just like higher probability.
Oh yeah, definitely it's higher probability, but that doesn't mean it doesn't happen.
Yeah, I know, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. You're saying there's a 99% chance, but there's still that 1%.
Yeah, I'm totally agreeing with you. We're on the same page here,
I know, I'm just fucking with you, dude. It's all good.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
Well, that was our Brett segment right there. So
moving
shout
on.
out to Brett.
You can't say his name.
You already said his name like 5 times.
All right, Christian. Other than online, where else have you been trying to meet girls?
Shit.
Didn't you apply for that Indian matchmaker show?
No, my dad joked about that.
Oh.
Did I talk about it?
Yeah,
I lost the episode.
Oh right, we talked.
I lost.
We
the
talked
lost
about
that
it
episode.
already.
Yeah, but no one.
I mean, if you want to go and explain it, go ahead and explain it.
Oh, okay. Well, there's people listening.
He's so excited. He's like, okay, well, if you're gonna make me do
I'll
it.
I'll keep it brief. Pretty much, there's
that.
that Indian matchmaking show on Netflix, and it's completely absurd. And my dad thought I'd really enjoy it because my dad's Indian, and he's like, you gotta watch this show with me. And I'm like, all right. So I watched the first episode and thought it was crazy. And he's like, we should sign you up for that. And I said, I think it would be hilarious because all these moms for these women want dudes who are like over 6 feet, make 6 figures, and are light skinned. I got the light skin part, but I got none of the other shit. So, and just who I am is completely different. Like, for example, do you remember that? Did you see that Crossmount post with me and the sour cherry?
Yes.
Okay, so my dad posted that, shared it on LinkedIn, and it got like 6,000 plus views, hey? And he knows some Indian dude from Toronto. I can't remember what he does. But he messaged my dad and said, that's pretty cool because that's not often that you see an Indian guy or a person of Indian origin pursue a career like that.
Mm-hmm.
And especially me being like a skateboarder, like that's, if I was from a full Indian family, that'd be completely frowned upon kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But so I think it would be interesting if I went on that just because I would be a complete disappointment to all of these families, even though I know I'm a great person, but you know, just I'm not up to those kind of fucking high standards.
Yeah.
So that's why it would be interesting to go on that, just as like the wild card. Did you ever see that show back in the day called Average Joe? Do you remember that? It was like a Bachelorette type show on NBC, I think.
No.
So the whole premise is that you have a girl who's like the Bachelorette, and you know usually those shows like a bunch of hot dudes and shit like that, right?
Yeah.
That's what she's told, right? And then she's standing at the beginning of the show outside the bus where all the dudes are gonna come off, and when the guys start coming off, they're all these like average looking guys. They're not bad looking guys, but they're just like, I don't know, a guy who could work produce at Superstore like that.
Or like Dan.
That's
Dan.
below average. Let's be honest.
No, but really, so, and you can just see, they just zoom up on her face, and she's like mortified. She's this gorgeous girl, and all these like random dudes are showing up, right? So now, for half the season, you know, it's the typical kind of, you know, the guy's trying to meet her and get to know her and whatnot. But after that halfway point,
They bring all the hot guys.
they bring all the hot guys. And the one show, or I guess the one season that I watched, it was down to an average Joe and a hot guy.
And she took the hot guy.
She took the hot guy, but what happened was they went on the honeymoon and they're filming it, and this girl was like, yeah, I dated Fabio once. This guy was so offended by that, he fucking dumped her and went back home. And the Joe, like when he got rejected, was so crushed because he loved this girl so much.
Yeah.
And then she went for the hot guy that dumped her because she dated that Fabio dude.
Who's Fabio?
He was like a sex symbol back in like the 80s,
Oh,
90s. That
gotcha.
guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
He was so pissed off by that, he left
Yeah,
her. Wow,
yeah.
what a piece of shit.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
So I guess where I'm going is, you know, the whole
Yeah,
impossible standards of an Indian family, and then me being like, hey, you know, like showing up in like my button up and my Toronto hat and my shorts and high socks,
Like the girls will only date you just to get revenge back on.
because
they're
they're rebellious.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that'd be so funny if I found Indian girls who are at the point where they wanted to finally rebel against their parents, and I'm like, I'll date you just to get back at them. Like, but I might have to charge you. Oh shit, is that prostitution? Only if you have sex with me.
Well, it's prostitution if they pay for sex. Technically, they're paying for your company. It may lead to sex.
They're paying for my services as, you know, of my existence. They're paying for my existence.
Yeah.
Anyway.
New business right
Yep.
there.
But that doesn't answer my question.
What is your question? How do I meet women?
No, my original question
How?
was where are you trying to meet women right now?
I don't know, man. I haven't been on Bumble or anything in the past while. I was hanging out with this one girl from work for a bit.
Work stuff always gets messy.
No, not really. Like, okay, so she came over, and we did it or whatever, right?
What?
What do you mean what?
Wow, you're a barbarian.
I know, right?
Work colleague, you.
I did.
that.
I did 10 Hail Marys that night to do my penance.
No,
but-
I was just saying because it's a work employee, like colleague.
Yeah, but anyway, I'm not gonna get too into who it is, but and then she left, and then she was like, she lived out of town or whatever, and I'm not gonna say where.
Yeah, we want to know everything about her age, height.
No, okay.
Hair
So
color.
and then I was super busy with work, so I just wasn't talking to her. And then like a week and a half went by, and I texted her and asked her if she wanted to hang out, and all she responds is, "Lol, no." And I'm like, okay, like what's up? What did I do? She's like, I felt disrespected. Like you fucked and chucked me. I'm like, are you fucking serious? Just because I didn't like fucking text you every 2 seconds after? And I was like, that wasn't my intention.
You were busy.
I was busy. I told her, I said, you and I are both fucking busy. And then she's like, I'm hanging out with someone else anyway, and I like it, so I'm going to see how that goes. I'm like, power to you. All right, sick. So.
But yeah. Like, I understand you were busy, but I'm just playing devil's advocate as to be an asshole, obviously.
Okay.
But, like, why not just text her?
Cause honestly,
or did you just forget about it? Like,
I was forgetting about it. Honestly, my life right now is I'm at work.
Yeah.
Or I'm out skateboarding.
I can understand like where she's coming from.
I get it. Yeah.
That one, because maybe she really liked you, and she's like, oh, but that doesn't mean she can't reach out to you either. It goes both ways.
Exactly right. And
so
then,
like I get that part too.
And then my brain was like, oh, she's kind of a kook then.
Yeah.
To freak out like that and be like, you disrespecting me.
Well,
and I'm like, no.
But potentially she's had bad experiences in the past, and that could be
she had a shitty boyfriend.
Yeah.
But like,
or shitty experiences like. Where
honestly, no. I said like she was hanging out with this dude. I'm like, good. I'm happy for you. Like, go for it.
Yeah.
But get this, I got this hilarious fucking story. Okay, so there was this girl that I knew back when I was at Sask Poly going to school, and you know who this is. She was at that party that one time.
Oh yeah.
Right?
At your house?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I was like in love with her for so long, but she had a boyfriend, and
that one,
yeah, that one. Yeah. And then eventually, it just like after I graduated, didn't really talk to her very much, and then she was single, and then I just didn't really pursue it. And Canada Day, her and her friend came out, and I tried to just like not. I was busy, didn't really want to talk to her, and then she kind of flagged me down. And then I'm like, yeah, it was good to see you and all this stuff, right? And then a couple days later, she asked me out over Instagram. She DM'd me and asked me out, and I was like, not really. Like maybe I'll go for a coffee just to catch up, kind of thing. But I didn't know what the intention was behind it. If she wanted to date or if she just wanted to be friends. And I was also still summertime, so I'm so fucking busy, right? I said I'd let her know my schedule and get back to her, and then I just forgot.
Things happen.
Yeah, I just didn't. And then a couple like last week, she messaged me on Instagram again because there's a job opening up at the Glen that's for a wedding coordinator that she wanted to apply for. So she was asking if that was still open. So I'm her friend, so I phoned the person in charge and I asked her. I said, "Did you get a resume? Is it still open?" She's like, "Yeah, it's still open, but I didn't get a resume, right?" And then I said, "Hey, actually, we're hiring servers for the tasting room. Do you want to have an interview? We'll give you an interview." And she said, like I want to apply for that position at the Glen, but I guess so. And I'm like, all right, that's kind of weird. So I set up for 10 a.m. yesterday.
No show?
No, she showed up and completely embarrassed herself. She pretty much said, I don't want this serving job. I want the job at the Glen. Like, not to me because I was busy. So it was my sales guy and another person. And they're just like, what the fuck? And then she tried to like show her art to sell it in the tasting room, which is not a thing that we do. And then yesterday when I was working, they came back in and I'm like, how'd it go? And they said that was a fucking disaster. And I'm like, why? So then they told me exactly what I just told you. And I'm like, oh my God. And then she messaged me after and says, well, that was a joke. And I'm like, fuck you. Honestly, I went out of my way to look into that job for you and then to give you a chance to work in the tasting room because, I was being nice. And then that's what you fucking say to me.
Yeah, that was rude.
I thought it was kind of horse shit.
That's
so
rude.
I'm glad I didn't go out with her because she's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's good.
Man,
I'm being serious. I'm not trying
to have the audacity to do that kind of shit at the interview, like.
Yeah, she was like, well, she's like, this isn't like before the interview. She's like, well, this is embarrassing. I was applying for a manager position. And now I'm getting an interview for a server.
Like somewhere else before.
She had a million jobs. You go on her Facebook, and every single job she's ever had is in her bio thing, and it's so long and it's hilarious.
But I thought wasn't she like bio something before?
No. She was in a different program.
Oh.
So I just knew them from a girl that I knew through my ex-girlfriend, and I would hang out with a bunch of them.
Didn't you work with Brian?
What? Brian?
Like, well, whatever. We'll talk about it later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that like a code name or something?
No, it's just a nickname for someone. It's fine.
Did I know or hook?
No. Don't worry about it. Like,
yeah, we'll talk
Okay,
about it.
fair,
Later.
okay.
Maybe I'm getting confused about who this is. I'm pretty sure I know who it is, but
Okay, remember this will jog your memory. Remember that?
this and then
Remember that blonde girl that I used to like?
yes,
And she brought her stupid boyfriend in my
that's
house.
the one I'm thinking.
And
of.
then the girl that I brought over to make that girl jealous was that girl.
Oh yeah, okay.
This
I
is
thought you
good.
were talking about the blonde one. That's
Yeah.
what I thought.
Oh no, not her. Fuck,
Yeah.
I haven't talked to her since. She's not
Okay.
dating that guy anymore. Apparently, she's dating some other dude now.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what
See, that was
Stefan's wife
I
told me.
I thought you were like talking about the blonde. That's who I'm.
No,
thinking.
not the
That's who I'm
blonde.
thinking of.
No.
That's who I was thinking of, but I know who. Yeah, get the one. Yeah.
The other one.
There's just a lot of girls in your life, isn't there, Christian?
I mean, this spans like 5+ years of knowing these girls. So
Oh, good thing you didn't go on a date with her.
no, I'm actually really glad because I would have been a waste of fucking time. Actually, I was supposed to go out with her, and then I lied and said I had to go do this podcast. It was like a Friday night. I was like, oh, I got podcast stuff. I gotta go. This was a while back though.
All right, now, Christian, what would you say is probably like your worst date experience?
I think I've talked about it before.
Have you?
Yeah, the yeah boy girl. You don't remember that?
No, I don't remember this at all.
Okay, well, I'll explain it again. So, I was talking to this girl. I don't even remember what her fucking name was. But, this is before I knew anything. Not saying I'm an expert, but you know what I mean. And I was going to pick her from her house. We were going to go for supper and then go to a movie. And specifically, Insidious, The Last Key, I think is what it was called.
Okay.
Anyway, so she gives me her address. It's in the fucking hood, right? It's in the fucking hood. And I
Like-
go down there and
Okay, alphabet soup there?
yeah. And I pick her up. I'm outside and I say, I'm here. And mind you, I have not met this girl in person yet. She's like, can you come inside? My grandma wants to meet you because she lives with her grandparents. I'm like, fuck. All right. So I go in. House smells like cigarettes and you can see the smoke in the air because the grandparents just chain smoke in there. And then I was like, I walk in, I like introduce myself, I guess. And then there's this dog. I'm like, oh, that's a nice dog. And she's like, yeah, she's being put down tomorrow, actually. I'm like, all right, that's a good way to start this off. So then we get in my car and she said, she kept saying, yeah, boy, a bunch of times. Like, yeah, boy, like shit like that. And I'm like, I joked. I was like, you owe me $1 every time you say that. And I was like, ha ha ha. But really, I was like, you need to shut the fuck up and stop saying that. Right. And then we get to the restaurant and I accidentally order the one dish that I hate on this entire planet, which is Singapore noodles. I fucking hate Singapore noodles.
Okay.
Anyway,
How do you accidentally order it?
I thought it was Shanghai noodles.
Oh.
Right. Shanghai noodles are way
so
better.
you ordered a dish and you thought it was
Yeah, so
Shanghai
I'm like,
noodles in it, but it was Singapore noodles in it.
Yeah. And then she's not saying a word. She's sitting across from me, not talking. And I'm like,
Did you go,
I gotta.
yeah, boy?
No.
You should have.
No, we're the only ones in the restaurant, and it's so quiet, right?
Yeah.
And she's kind of just like twirling around her food. So I'm just like, so like, what's your goals? What's your aspirations in life? She's like, kind of. She's like, I want to be Instagram famous. I'm like, what?
Fuck yeah.
Are you serious? And she's like, yeah, like I think that's like something I really want to pursue. And I'm like, oh my god, what have I done? And I'm like, I already bought the fucking movie ticket, so I can't back out now.
What movie did you watch?
Insidious.
You just said
Oh,
it.
sorry, I wasn't paying attention to that part. With the movie. I heard the movie part, but
Anyway, so we get
well, that's a good thing though, because like it's like you don't have to talk to them when you're in a movie.
true,
Yeah.
which is a bad idea for a first date. You
Yeah.
don't go on a
It's
movie to a
horrendous.
movie on a first date. That's
Yeah.
just stupid. Anyway, so we pull up. We at the park, kind of where Winston's is, I think, like that street.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we're walking through his alley and stuff. And the whole entire time we're walking, she tells me how she was carjacked at knife point and shit, and how she has like major PTSD from it. I'm like, oh my god, why are you telling me this? Can you just like hold off for like, I don't know, a couple dates? I don't know. And
So upset because she has all PTSD story. Shut the fuck up, no one cares.
no, but I mean, it's a red flag when you come out and start saying that shit the first time. You know?
Do you think it's maybe because she got held at knife point in the back alley where you were going? That's probably the reason why she had
It wasn't in a back
PTSD.
alley. It was in her she was sitting in her car.
Yeah, probably in a back alley in
I'm
the
like,
back car.
Anyway, I was sympathetic. I said, wow, that really sucks. Like, are you okay now? And she's like, no. And I'm like, oh. And then we go and find our seats and whatnot. And then someone kept talking kind of loud in the front. The movie hasn't started yet.
Yeah.
And then she said she was going to fight them. And I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck
This
is happening?
awesome.
Right. And then the movie starts. And we're about like 20 minutes in. And one of the main character's brother gets introduced. And his name is Christian. Right. So the character says, Christian. And she looks at me and goes, oh, that's you, nigga. So loud. And this girl's white. And I'm like,
that was my other question. There was how white was this girl?
This girl was like hood rat trash, and I was so embarrassed. I had to look and see if there's any black people around me, and so I could explain myself. And I don't remember the drive home. I think I just blocked it out of my memory, and I never talked to her again.
You should have done a
So
follow-up. Come on.
That was and then she worked at that El Coyote, and then I went there once and saw her, and I just ignored her because I just did not want anything to do with her.
How the hell did you meet this girl?
Tinder. How else? Yeah, but how I meet girls now, honestly, I just don't. It's yeah.
All right, man. What's your worst dating experience?
Well, let me tell you, I don't really have a worst dating experience. I got a funny story. I don't know if I ever shared it on the podcast, but I really didn't try to start dating until I was in my 20s. So the first time I ever went on a date, I was like, asked this girl out, and she said, yeah, I was really pumped. And then I got stood up, so that was fun. But I think the funniest one I've got is probably the first date I went on with someone. It was my legit first date. She didn't bail or anything like that. We met at a coffee shop, and we just ordered our drinks. We're sitting down. This is probably like 5 minutes into the date. And all of a sudden, this waiter comes up to us. He's like, yeah, you guys got to leave. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, our fridge is on fire. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? No, look. And it's kind of like one of those movies where like the camera just goes to another like angle and you see the fridge on fire. And you're like, what the fuck? The fridge is on fire. Like it was literally on fire. So we had to get out of there. She's like, well, here's the to-go cups. And they give to-go cups. And we're like, well, this is great. This is my first date ever. And I'm fucked, man. Like, well, how can you recover from that, right? So that was funny. But then we ended up going to a bar after and having some drinks and just laughing about it the whole time. So, I mean, that part was like probably the most nerve-wracking. Then the second part would be, I think it was the second or third date. I told Dan that I was going there to this place for the date, right? And Dan literally spied on me the entire time I was on my date.
Wait, this is in Saskatoon?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So he spied on me the entire time I was
he by himself?
Date. Yeah, he was at the bar. He was at the bar part of Original Joe's, and I was in a booth. And I was at I think we had the date on a Sunday. And I went on Friday night to Calgary to go with Stefan and Stefan's wife and some other people for like a 2-day like Calgary Flames trip through the university. Okay. So we go watch the Flames game and then go to some bars and do bar hopping and stuff. So I was like, I gotta get home for this date. So we got home, like we drove home on Sunday at like 8 a.m. and we were all just destroyed because the game was like Saturday night. So I'm just hungover as fuck. And I get to the thing, and I'm like, oh, like I couldn't even eat my food, dude. I was like that hungover. I'm like, this is gonna go bad. And then all of a sudden, I just hear, look at that. I get a text from Dan. He's like, look at that handsome son of a bitch. And he had a picture of me. I'm like, what the fuck? And then I just laughed my ass off. I went to the washroom and I recovered, and we ended up having a good date. But that was another funny
Did he
part.
meet you in the bathroom?
No, he just legitimately just stood at this bar. And he's just like taking photos of me, and he's just staring the whole time. And the guy's like, hey, can I help you, man? And he's just like, yeah, I'll just get an iced tea. And he got an iced tea. And he had one iced tea. And he's just looking at me the entire time of the day. And I had no idea he was there. It was so funny.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing better to do with your time.
I thought that was so funny. That was a funny story. But
it's funny, Brett always joke about that. I'm always like, where are you going on your date? And he's like, why? So you can show up? I'm like, dude, I wouldn't do that.
But, you know, like, I haven't personally done that, but I thought that was funny that it actually happened to me.
Did you tell her? That's my friend over there.
I told her after, yeah. It was
okay.
Funny. But then that just never, I think we went on 5 dates.
That's a lot of dates, man.
Yeah. And then it didn't work out, and that was fine. And then after that,
where'd you meet her? Who is she?
I just met her on Tinder.
Oh.
Like, yeah, when I was back in Swift Current there. So, yeah. Other than that, it's been pretty good. So,
I just love the idea that Dan was that invested into that date that he needed to be there. Like he figured out where your date was, when your date was.
A really embarrassing one was like with Ashley, like when we just first like went on our first date together. I was like, well, she's not asking me any questions. She's definitely not interested. You know, like this is embarrassing. And then, but she's like, yeah, meet me at like I'm working the Rush game. Like I help sell liquor to raise funds for Baton. So, you know, like come meet me at like around this booth. I'm like, okay. And I went there and I was fucking annihilated. I was destroyed. Like I shouldn't have gotten served liquor. Like that's how drunk I was. I was like, hey, Like, I'm like tipsy turvy and all that, and I'm like, yeah, can I get some beers? And then she's like, yep. And I didn't say a word the entire time. I'm like, here you go. And I dropped the cash and I went. She's just like, oh God. I'm like, and then I woke up the next day. I'm like, I'm such an idiot. I blew it, right? Yeah. And then, funny enough, like I didn't talk to her for a week, and then she's like, hey, you should come out to the bar. And
she texted you?
She texted me.
That's like the best feeling in the world.
And then, because it was essentially a save to help save her from a guy that she didn't like. This guy was all over her. And then we started talking legitimately, and then it was a lot of fun. And then we kept on going on dates after, and that's how that one worked out. So,
yeah,
that's good. We've been together for 3 years, but
that's good, man. Finding the balance between like, because there's that word going around now, a simp.
Well, I tried so hard to get Jordan to come out with me because I didn't want to go by myself.
You texted me too.
Yeah, I texted both you guys because I was like, I don't want to go by myself.
Was it like 10:30 on a Friday night?
Yeah, and I was like just dead tired because I think I'd worked at like 5 a.m. But then I'm like, oh fuck it, I'll just go, and I went. And if I didn't go, I don't think it would have.
Fuck, maybe I should have went. I would have met my fucking soulmate. Instead of dealing with this shit right now. I am though. I wasn't gonna say it, but I am hanging out with a lady, but she's like a little bit older than me.
There's nothing wrong with that.
How define a little?
She's 49.
Well, then you're not really hanging out, are you?
What do you mean?
Well, yeah, but we know what you're hanging out for.
What do you mean?
Well, yeah, you're a married 49-year-old, 21 years older than you.
Yeah, well, she's cool.
Oh, yes, I'm sure she's cool.
We both talked about it, and it's like, we're not, like, it's not like a relationship kind of thing.
Are you actually fucking serious right now?
Yeah,
you seem like you're so full
You're
of shit.
You're a sugar baby.
I am not fucking full of shit, okay?
You're a sugar baby.
She's really cool. I showed her, I hung out with her last night, and we were showing her clips.
She likes my kick flips. They're so cool.
Yeah, she thinks
she'll bake me lasagna. This is awesome.
Honestly, what do you call it? I was showing her clips of your mom's house podcast, and she was laughing. And then she texted me today. She's like, "What's that podcast again?" And I'm like, "Oh," but
she's gonna fall in love with you, and you're gonna have to break her heart. Yep, it's gonna happen.
No, it's not.
It's gonna happen. He's just like quiet.
I thought I'd get like more of like a high five or something, but I guess not. Look at him. Look at Jayson.
You look disgusted.
I'm just thinking like
you're thinking like, oh my god. I can't believe you do that.
I feel so shitty now for even bringing this up. You guys are so disappointed in me.
Hey, you know what?
Oh, no, there's a difference. I totally get it, and I think it's fine. But like the way you made it sound like at the beginning, it's like, yeah, I'm kind of seeing someone. Like,
okay,
start dating her.
Okay, or like we hang out with her, like, you know.
No, that part's different. I was just joking. I was making a joke.
Oh, I get it, and I think it's hilarious. But I thought you would have been like, I don't know. I think I expected something different.
Well, like we don't have to go into details, but I'm pretty proud of you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not many people can say
like
that.
It's like a cool like experience, I suppose.
Bumble?
No.
How did this happen?
I'm not gonna even explain it because I don't.
It's his friend's mom.
No, it's definitely not. Can you imagine?
It was some girl he was dating's mom.
Oh,
and then
that'd be
he went up to her and
funny.
like, menage a trois, and she's like, I like this guy.
No, she finds me pretty funny, which is pretty cool. So
Christian did stand up in a back alley once, and she was the only one that was there. She's like, hey, you want to go out? I'll buy you dinner.
oh my god.
Or it's like Christian's dentist or something. It's like, yeah,
I've known her for a while actually.
I've known her since I was 7
I've known her
years
for a couple
old.
years.
It's your mom's friend.
Dude, you can't. You're like, it's just a joke.
Oh no, of course.
So
no, I'm not bummed out.
He's so embarrassed.
Just in case she ever listens to this, I'm just like saying.
Well, you know what? Then I apologize in advance. We're not probably going to censor it out though. So
no, that's fine. You don't have to censor it. I just thought it'd be.
Yeah.
Oh, it's funny. It is funny. Yeah.
Yeah, she's pretty cool.
Well, it's not just funny. It's cool though. It is cool that like even to have like that much fun with someone that's older than you, like that's pretty cool. Like not many people get to say that. So
yeah, it's weird because it's like
even if it like
now you just got to equal it out.
Hey man,
like same sense.
I'll just say this, man. I know it sounds crazy. But like Hugh Jackman's wife's like 30 years older than him.
Really?
Yeah, she's like or like 20 something. Yeah, like
holy
she's
shit. Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Yeah, Aaron Taylor Johnson, same thing.
He was 25. She was like
45, or
something like that. They got a kid together now.
Yeah, like she's 60. Like Hugh Jackman's wife is like almost 70 years old.
Really?
Yeah, dude. I swear to God.
That's insane.
And it's Hugh Jackman. Like Hugh Jackman, dude.
Yeah,
it's shredded to the nails.
I think
he's
been with the same woman like before he was famous.
Well, like they got together. They were meeting on set somewhere, and then she was a famous person already.
Okay, I have to look this up now.
But like he always had a crush on her, and she was I think recently divorced, and she found him attractive. But then he's like, it was all about her personality. He said like it wasn't just like what she looked like.
She's born 1955.
Yeah, she'd be 65.
Holy shit! And how old is he?
He might be 50 now. He was in his late 40s, I think, last time I saw him.
Hugh Jackman is 51.
14 though. 14 years. That's still that's not far off from.
He got married in 96.
Yeah.
Try to do math.
24, so that's 27 years old.
Wow, and she was 40s.
Yeah, late 40s.
Not late.
Whoa.
Mid.
27 should be. She'd be 41 then.
Yeah, or early to mid.
That's still like. It's not far off from what you're saying.
Now, Christian, since you're seeing this older lady, do you just balance it out by seeing someone like super young too? And
I think he's just chilling with her and like hanging out, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, like, how do you even? I don't even know with this whole COVID thing. Like, how do you even meet?
It is
girls
that because this whole Tinder and Bumble shit, it's just so fucking annoying. It's so frustrating to work with.
I wouldn't even worry. I wouldn't worry about it.
I have this like fantasy in my head that I gotta move to like Australia or some shit. It seems like that happens. You move to Australia, you meet some chick, and you bring her back.
Dude, I think what you gotta do is you just gotta wait until COVID's over, and then everyone will be like, the floodgates are open. And then everything's like excited, and they're like, yeah. I was trying to make like one of those like exciting like songs like that. I can't do it. I'm not gonna do it over the podcast here, but
yeah, I fucking hope so, man. I thought that like. I don't know.
Dude, you're like 27 years old.
True.
You got lots of time.
Yeah.
I found a gray hair in my mustache today.
That's a stress hair, right?
I think it probably was.
At least you have hairs.
You got hairs.
No, I'm just saying. Well, I assume I would go bald. So.
Oh, you mean on the top of your head?
Yeah.
I meant on my face.
Oh, your face is fine.
What about you, Jayson? What's your fucking dating thing? Weren't you hanging out with some girl or talking to a girl or what happened with that?
There's a lot of stuff going on.
Okay, tell us.
One is an absolute train wreck right now, and I'll tell you after the podcast just because I don't think it's a little more. Yeah, it's not appropriate. There was this other girl.
Appropriate for our podcast.
Yeah. There was this other girl who I went and got coffee with, and the way she spoke, she sounded like a cartoon character, and like all of her sentences ended with an upward inflection at the end.
Aren't you into that?
No.
I'm just kidding, Jason.
No, and it just like it hurt my head to try and talk to her.
Like just high pitched voice?
But have you gone on a date since?
With
high accent person?
No.
How'd you meet her?
This was through Buddy's little sister's friend.
Oh, yeah.
Buddy's
man, it's actually really hard when people set you up with other people.
What's her name? What's her name?
Keith.
Oh, tell me after. Tell me after.
But it's actually really like it's almost like there's more pressure when people set you up with other people. They're like, yeah, I think this would like work, and then you're like, okay, and you go up with open mind, like, well, maybe this would be great. But then it's like there's a lot of pressure on you to like have
get along.
Yeah, like on the first date, and you're like, because that happened to me once, like, and it went okay, like the date went well. I'm like, this is fun. Like, I'd go on another one.
Wait, you got set up with someone?
Yeah.
From who?
Kevin.
Oh.
Kevin Urker.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they knew someone, and I went on a date.
It didn't work out?
No, it never worked out. And
were you attracted to her?
Well, yeah, she was like, they showed me like picture first, like, would you want to go on a date? And I'm like, sure.
Why not?
Like,
yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what do I got to lose, right? So I went on a date. It went fine, and then I tried setting something up, and she canceled. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm not gonna try like to go any further.
You tried 2 times, and if you get,
I think it was twice, and then I just didn't
you...
really care because I've been through all that. I was just like, it doesn't matter.
Okay, fair enough. Care. Okay, continue.
But it's hard. It's a lot of pressure though. Like going back to what he's saying. Like,
yeah,
it's actually a lot of pressure.
Matty did that to me.
What's the difference between getting set up by someone and then getting and then going on a Tinder date? What's the difference?
What's the difference?
Well, the nice thing about having the like set up is that at least you have something in common. Like, you know someone, right? So that you can use that to your advantage to have to at least have some conversation. Whereas like Tinder, it's like fucking.
It's a crapshoot, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you showed up in the hood. You ended up in the hood.
Yeah,
to pick up this girl.
That was just a girl that you cannot work with.
Your first mistake was actually picking her up.
Yeah,
that was the first mistake.
I don't do that anymore.
Yeah, you should always just meet at a central location, and then.
Yeah, I definitely don't do that anymore. I'm like, yeah, you can.
But I always find like, and I've always said this, like, I think first dates are fun because. What's the worst that can happen? You just don't go on a second date.
Yeah.
Like, so it's always like, whatever. Like, that's a funny story when you actually think about it.
Yeah, that's like, why it sticks out in my mind so much.
It's like fucking hilarious because you're like, oh my God, this is such a disaster.
The other
but
shitty,
then it's like you didn't waste your time with this person.
No, exactly. The other shitty date was the one that I went to Aria, and that girl just like didn't ask me any questions, and then I tried asking her out again just to see, and then she told me I was boring. I think I told her on the podcast.
No, I remember this.
That was boring that she wanted to sleep with other men's.
With other men's?
Yeah, with other men's. And I was like, okay. Well.
Yeah, you showed us the text messages.
Yeah, I saved it too. Yeah, it's fun. It's pretty funny. So, okay, so there's this girl that's complicated, but what else? Is there any other?
It's complicated.
I mean, this other girl I've been trying to see, but she volunteers at an old folks home, and she's very COVID conscious right now, and it's kind of hard to get her to do like stuff outside of the house. Yeah. I'm kind of running into a bit of a brick wall on that one there.
Yeah.
Let it be until it's all good. Done. Let it be, man. Let it be. It ain't worth it.
Yeah.
It ain't worth the disappointment for like always canceling or changing plans. Like it's just not worth your time. That's my opinion. That's all I'm saying.
Sometimes I get relieved if someone cancels on me because then I can just do whatever I want.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, thank God, I can just sit here and watch more Parks and Rec.
It sucks, man, when you put in all the effort in and then like she should just be like, hey, like like right now I'm not looking like to see anyone during COVID because I work at this or volunteer at this place. But once it's over, let's do something. Like that's different. And then you but when you got to keep trying and she keeps on saying yes and then cancels it later, like that's frustrating, man. Like that is,
and that's when
that hurts, man. That hurts even more because it's like, why can't you just tell me that you don't want to do anything right now or something?
Yeah,
like that.
There was a girl that kept doing that to me, and all of a sudden on Instagram she had a boyfriend.
Yeah, you just waste your
for a year.
But they don't have a problem wasting your time, which is such bullshit. It's not fair.
Girls are actually really afraid to actually tell guys what's on their mind because they're afraid of how they're going to react.
Yeah.
So they'd rather just kind of be vague and just to hopefully they hope that he gets the message. Instead, because they will never be blunt. They'll never say, I just don't like you. Because they're like, God, what do you mean you don't like me? I'm not good enough for you?
Well, like, that's the thing. Like, I remember I asked,
freak out
the first time I ever asked a girl out, I was like 22, I think. And it was someone at school that, like, we went to school in Moose Jaw.
How'd you ask her out? Can I ask?
Well, I was so nervous, dude. Like, I was just freaking out.
Will you go for
No, it was just like, hey, like, do you want to go for coffee sometime? It was just me and her, like, in the classroom at the end, like, working on after school.
Yeah.
And then she's like, yeah. And then I'm like, cool. And then I asked like for a date and time, and she's just like, yeah, it's not really work out. And then I'm like, that's fine. Like you just had to tell me that, like, cause like I'm fine with that. That's not a problem. And I don't like, sorry for making it awkward and all that. And she's like, no, it's fine. And it was fine after like at school. It wasn't bad after that. But like, that's just one of the things, man. Like, you just be upfront. It's better than
or you just have to not really give a shit.
Because then you're like, yeah, like sweet, we're gonna go on a date, and you're all pumped up. Like, what am I gonna do? And you're thinking about it and all that stuff, and it's tough.
Yep. Just don't give a fuck, Jayson.
Yeah.
That's also what it is. You're just like, oh, well, fuck.
I've gotten to the point where it's like I'm busy with work and other shit, the podcast and
you know what it is. I think
show and stuff like that.
The perfect word for it is it's exhausting. It's exhausting having to try to do everything and set up everything, and then it just be constantly canceled. It's like, well, you're not valuing me and my time.
Well, that's like the dude is supposed to do that at the beginning. Like,
sure.
to reach out, because a girl will never fucking... Like, for example, that girl that I was saying, I just didn't reach out for a week, and then she freaked out, right?
Yeah.
Like you said, she could have reached out, but she never did.
Yeah.
Because it's supposed to be up to the guy, and then, eventually, if you keep seeing each other
even
enough,
that,
they'll start
like, I
texting
even
you.
found that was exhausting. So that's, like, how I got lucky, and, like... But it is, like, it can get exhausting when it's like, yeah, it's the guy has to do it. It's like, no. Like, if you really cared... Like, it showed, because, like, with Ashley, she thought of me to some point to say, hey,
she really liked you.
Like, do you want to come out again? So I'm like, yeah, I'll do it.
But most girls take way longer to feel any kind of thing for you.
Yeah.
They fall in love slowly over time. So that's what I mean by you kind of have to keep initiating and going out. If they keep having fun, like, the longer it goes, then they'll start reaching out.
I tried for so long. Like, I think it was like I'd say like 3 to 4 years, like Tinder and all that. And it's such forced conversations, in my opinion. Like, you're forcing yourself to like talk to people like online, and it's like, it's not really me. Like, I don't like to do that. I like just to be myself and goof off and be dork, right?
Yeah.
And say funny jokes and shit like that, or do stupid things. But I met her in person first, and then I got her number, and then I was just like, okay, like, I could go down the path of just having boring conversations and all that. I'm like, what do I have to lose? Because every time it's just like, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
So I just said, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna ask her out right away. That's the first text I sent her. Was like, hey, do you want to go out? I thought you were really cool. I thought you were really fun. I'd like to go out with you. And she said, yeah.
That's pretty dope.
But I was just like, why not try something different? Because it was like, everything else hasn't worked yet, so why?
Didn't you give me some really shitty dating advice once? Do you remember that?
I gave you shitting.
Wait, you told me to show up to some girl's house with a fruit platter or some shit.
No, I was like, no. That would be badass because it's something that you wouldn't have done. Yeah, was it great advice? Maybe not, but like, who knows? If maybe she was like, that guy's cool.
Because he showed up to my house?
Yeah, because she was
with a fruit platter.
Because she said she liked you, but she was doing bullshit excuses. I'm like, why not do something badass and just?
I'm still actually kind of talking to that girl too. Yeah. She's pretty young though. She's like 19.
Which one you talking about? I thought you were talking about the one that went to university. That's the one we were talking about. Was the one that went to university that always had to cancel her plans.
Yeah, that same one.
She's 19.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I know.
She's 19 now.
Yeah.
What?
I know.
How long have you been talking to this girl?
Well, I hung out with her last November. But I didn't know.
She doesn't look like she's like.
I know, that's what I mean. But whatever.
That's probably why she was fucking bailing on you.
Yeah, well, we hung out like a little bit in November, and then she just like told me some shit going on. I was like, all right, that's fine. And then she randomly messaged me in the middle of COVID, like March or April, and I didn't even have her number. And she wanted to like hang out, so like I've hung out with her maybe twice in the past 6 months because it's just like she's either like she's studying for the MCAT or she's in Calgary.
Oh, that's where she's from?
No, her cousin lives there, so she goes there all the time.
Oh.
You actually probably know who she is. I'm not going to say it, but yeah.
We'll all trade names after the podcast.
Yeah. So, but when I found out she was I kind of talked to her about it. We were messaging, like, is it like okay? Like, I'm almost 28 and you're 19. She's like, well, yeah, we're like casually seeing each other and us thinking about it. And if I'm cool with it kind of thing. And
I don't
if
even
you're
think
not,
like
then
that.
whatever.
That's not a big deal. I don't think.
It depends what you want.
Yeah.
The hard part would be for you would be like if things do go well and you start dating her and then you're with her friends and her friends want to just get fucking annihilated every time.
That's not the type of people she hangs out with. But my biggest thing is she wants to go to med school. And the whole med school process is 10 plus years before you can even have any kind of family.
Yeah.
And it's like, what? I don't want to be 45 when I start having kids.
True.
It's ridiculous. So that's like the thing in my mind, but I mean, you can't really
never know what
happens. I mean, Christian's seeing a 19-year-old. He's seeing a 49-year-old. Like,
but she could even change her mind after. She's like, maybe I don't want to be.
Honestly, I'm so indifferent about it that it's like, hey, if you're down to hang out, then sick. But if not, I don't put so much pressure.
That is a good mentality to go at it.
I remember I was on like I think it was 24, and someone messaged me, and we had a great conversation. Like, let's go out, and she's like, I'm 17. I'm like, can't do that.
Yeah, 17's not exactly.
I'm like, you're a really sweet girl, and like,
wait, how did you? She
lied about her age on Tinder. Like, it said like 21.
Oh, in the bio where you probably missed it, where it said not 21.
No, she didn't have 17. That in the bio.
Oh,
yeah, she didn't even have that in the bio.
Well, at least she told you before you went out with her.
Yeah, she was honest. I'm like, I'm really sorry, but like, just
that's
on that.
illegal. Like, you're
Danny. If you went out with that, Danny would be correct in everything he says in that text chain.
Well, actually, I don't. Is it 18 Saskatchewan or is it?
Yeah, it's. I don't know what the whole. I think we talked about it before. It's like there's like an age of consent, and then there's legal. I don't know.
That one was like tricky though. It's just like, well, it's not tricky for me. I just said no, sorry. But like if you don't know and they just lie to you about it, like that's fucking bullshit.
Yeah,
that's such bullshit.
Cause
I don't wouldn't make you anything.
You'd probably get off. Like, say if the parents wanted to charge you like statutory rape or something like that, and then your defense was like, she lied to me about her age. How was I supposed to know? I guess maybe if you went for a drink with her and they had to show ID.
Yeah, but
we only went for
some
coffee.
People have fucking fake IDs too, man. Like,
it's very elaborate.
Yeah, like they'll go all out, man. And some people, like, they won't. I've been to places with like where like there was a class meeting when I first started SAS. I was 21, and there was this girl. She just turned like she was 18. She wasn't 19 until May. So we went to a bar like in April, and she got in, no problem. And then she got kicked out of Outlaws. And then
for being underage.
I don't think she was too drunk or whatever. And they're like, you can't come back in. And I don't know if she had a fake ID or whatever. Because I think she had this older sister, so she just used her older sister's ID.
Okay.
Because they look very similar. And then they're like, you're kicked out. And she just like showed that, like, showed her cleavage. And they're like, okay, come back in. So it's just like, okay, are you really taking it seriously?
Do you think if we got kicked out and we just flash our nutsack, we get in?
No, they'd get kicked.
We'd get kicked in the ball sack, probably.
But like, that's the truth. What happened?
Or just
that's inequality right there.
Show the outline of your schlong against your leg.
Yeah,
that's just like how crazy
it's like vacuum sealed.
So like, if someone is just willing to show that, they might not be like, oh yeah, you're whatever, like they might not even.
They don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Well, one time, when back the day when we used to go to Outlaws, Ben was underage.
Oh yeah.
And he used Lyndon's. This is back when the IDs changed over.
Yeah.
I mean, there was that overlap period where you could use the old ID.
ID.
Yeah. So Lyndon and Ben went back to back. Lyndon used his ID, and Ben used Lyndon's old ID back to back.
Oh my god, and they're fine.
They both got in.
Yeah, it's just stupid.
Because they're like the same. I don't know. The guy didn't notice the same.
Well, they don't.
They don't fucking care.
They don't even look at the
they
picture,
don't care.
man. They don't even look at the picture.
I heard that back in the day, like tequila, they didn't really ID for some people. They just wanted to have footage of a bouncer looking at some kind of. You can't tell in the footage of what kind of ID it is, so they just like give a credit card to make it look like it's ID, and just to.
And dude, like the other thing is like. Tequila probably just wanted the $5 for every person that had to go in there.
Yeah,
like that's all they cared about. They didn't
that
really
place
care.
is such a shithole.
Yeah,
I can't believe the amount of money I spent there was ridiculous.
But yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, that was like what 8 years ago. That was the last time I was there. It was 8 years ago.
Wow.
Well, it's closed now, but it's
burnt down now.
Well, the building's still there, isn't it?
No,
it's Tequila became
Saskatoon Event Center.
That's what it was, yeah.
And then it burnt down, which I'm pretty sure was some kind of insurance.
I'm pretty sure it's
definitely insurance fraud.
Yeah.
Weird shit.
Yeah. Did you hear there was a shooting by my house last week? The Aria shooting?
No.
Oh, I didn't hear about it.
You didn't know about this?
No.
I was driving to work last Thursday or Friday at 7 a.m. and I saw police taping off the parking lot. You know where Snap and all that stuff is, right? And my brain right away went, oh, there must be new pavement. Because that doesn't happen over here. And then I saw in the news that someone was murdered. Like some guy was shot in the head, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Like in front of Aria, and then I was thinking, and then I remember going on a date with a girl and bringing her to Aria. It was like a Tuesday night, 9:00, right? You think any other place would be kind of dead, right? And then we're sitting there, and all of a sudden, all these guys come in. Or I'm just gonna say they're black guys, right? And just like super gangster and stuff like that. They walk over to this kind of corner of the room. It's kind of like a DJ with like set with like all the speakers and whatnot. The guy plugs in his iPhone and starts blaring the loudest gangster rap music you'll ever listen to. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, imagine if you're in Original Joe's and some dudes come in and start blaring their own music.
Yeah.
I was like, do these guys own it? Are they friends with the owner or whatever, right? And I was like, that's kind of weird. And then I kind of started hearing that Aria might be some kind of front because the guy who owns it has been known to launder money through his businesses related to drug money. And then, when the article came out of who shot that guy, I think it was one of those guys that was who shot the other dude. Oh. And now there's a federal warrant for his arrest.
Okay.
So Aria is sketchy as fuck.
All right, never going back to that place.
Yeah, they have us on tap, but still they're kind of sketchy.
All right.
And I was like, holy shit.
Just don't go there at 9:00. Go there in the
go there.
Yeah,
like,
afternoon, folks.
It's like the new Manchesters. You can only go there like before 5 p.m.
Alrighty, we are going to call it there because we're close to an hour now.
Oh wow!
Nice.
Yeah. Thanks for joining me, guys. That was actually quite interesting.
It was.
Yeah,
Which part?
All
Everything.
of it.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna go trade names now after we end this podcast. So, thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you all next time.
See ya.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
I want to see the MILF.
The MILF?
I'm excited for you. Yeah. Oh, dude.